Thank you so much, Carly, for kicking off season 3 of Magic of Cozies.
It's wonderful to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, starting with the question I ask everyone, can you tell us about your journey into writing paranormal cozy mysteries?
Sure. I have been an author for over a decade now, and I love paranormal things. I love ghosts, and I love talking dogs, and I like witches. I like all of the things, the magical things in cozy mysteries. So it was very easy for me to move into that genre.
Excellent. So, what inspired you to blend elements of cozy mysteries with supernatural themes?
It's so looking at my cozy mysteries, the magical cozy mysteries that I have written. Um, let's take the Sedona Spirit cozy mysteries, for example, where we have a ghost, a sassy ghost who likes to live life on her own terms. We have her. And she was actually based on a woman that I knew in my 20s. I got a job. She was my boss, and this woman was absolutely amazing to me. This was in the 80s. So she lived life on her own terms. She had her own house. She had all of she was just amazing, and she lived on her own terms. She did what she wanted when she wanted, and she was a very pivotal person in my life. And when I started thinking about her, I realized that I don't know if she's dead now. I mean, she would be in her 80s, maybe even 90s by now. But I just kind of wanted to do a tribute to her because she was so important to me. And so my ghost in Sedona Spirit is based on her, and that's kind of how she came along.
That's
My little
awesome.
ghost Ruby. So
And she's a great character.
thank you. I love her. And like I said, this woman, she was just so pivotal in my life. And she was so important in helping me grow up and learn how to be an adult. So she was she was great. So
And you see that in that series. I read book 1, going on to book 2, so I'm sure the relationship between her and the amateur sleuth grows. But you see that in the first one, the first book reflected too, where she is helping her granddaughter solve this murder and also teaching her some life lessons along the way.
yeah, lots of life lessons. The granddaughter, she's full of anxiety and uncertainty and everything. So and as I was when I was 20 years old. And this woman, she's just like, you got to fake it till you make it. You just got to do it, And so, yeah, that's Ruby. And that was my mentor there.
That's great. So, how do you approach world building in your cozy mystery series and make it believable? I know for Sedona Spirits that actually takes place in Sedona, Arizona,
Hmm.
but you have other series as well that are potentially based on real towns or inspired by. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So, I have two series that takes place in a town called Haywood, which is in northern Arizona, which is by Sedona. Um, but the town is fictional. And it's funny how many people ask me that who are from Arizona. They're like, I've looked at a map and I can't find Haywood. Where is it? It doesn't exist. So, Haywood is actually based on. Have you ever seen Virgin River? Okay. So in Virgin River, they have this beautiful little town that's set by this gorgeous rolling river, and there's trees, and I mean it's really gorgeous there in this Virgin River. But it was actually based on that. I watched a couple episodes of Virgin River and I thought, oh, I love this town. I want to be in this town. And with Cozy Mysteries, that's so important. The town is so important. So I based Haywood off of the town in Virgin River. Yeah.
So, what advice would you give to aspiring authors who are interested in writing paranormal cozy mysteries?
I think it's really important to study the genre and learn the tropes and to know how important, like I said, the town is, to learn what magic you're going to incorporate into that, whether it's witches or whether it's a ghost or psychic abilities or whatever it is, to know what readers want to see in your book. And then, of course, to know that in cozy mysteries, obviously, no sex, no bloody violence, no swearing. Cozy mystery readers, they really want a clean, fun, good story. And then for your main character, how you develop her or him out is important as well.
That's some great advice. So we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
And what is your definition of magic?
Okay, so okay, I love magic. It, my husband and I go see magicians all the time. I love magic. I love hypnotists. I love all of that. I love performances like that. So there's that magic, but then, and this is going to sound really corny. I understand that, but I think that you have the performances, but then you have stuff that just happens every day that is kind of magical. Like when you're with a friend and you guys are just so connected that time just flies by or whatever. I mean, to me, that's magical. Or you and your spouse are just in that plane where everything is going well and you're just vibing. And that's magical to me, too. Catching a good sunset, catching a good sunrise, I think there's magic in every single day. But I do love the stage shows as well.
Well, you're the first author to mention stage magic, which is very interesting. Um, and I don't, hypnotists, I'm very skeptical about, but I do like the trick of the hand and that kind of magic. I'm all for that. Um, but your response to, the magic in the everyday, is not silly because we've had a lot of that, you know, a lot of those answers, similar answers as well. And I think that is truly where the magic, the life magic happens.
I agree. I agree. There's so much to be grateful for, and there's so much magical things that happen every day to us. And you really have to have your eyes open and be willing to accept it. And it's a neat, it's a nice gift that we're given daily.
Yeah, for sure. So if you could have a magical power or ability, what would it be and why?
I have thought long and hard about this, and I thought, well, I'd want to see the future, but I don't want to do that. I think that I would want to be invisible and just like walk into rooms and see what's happening. So there's a lot of things that I would just like to be a fly on the wall or just invisible and just hear what is going on.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm a people watcher in general, so I think being able to be invisible and just like peeping in and without
Right,
people knowing,
right. Exactly. That's exactly what I would want to do.
perfectly normal, perfectly
Mhm.
normal. So, what's your favorite way to get cozy with a book?
Gosh, in Arizona, it's so hard to get cozy because it's so hot. I just during the winter, well, our version of winter, which is, like 50 degrees or whatever, I just like to get under a blanket, excuse me, and cuddle up on the couch. And that's really about it. I should just go outside and enjoy the weather at 50 degrees, but yeah.
I know. I do like to go outside with a cup of coffee when it's 50, all
Yeah,
bundled up and be like, it's winter.
I know. Got
No
my parka on.
worries.
Ooh.
So, what are you reading right now? Do you have any book recommendations for our listeners, cozy or not?
Okay. Actually, I'm not reading right now. Well, I am reading, but I'm not reading anything. I'm not reading any fiction because right now I am on two very tight deadlines. But I am reading the book. It's here. It's called What Everybody Is Saying, and it's all about lying, detecting lying. So
Mm.
that's my big read for right now. Yeah, I've got another one too. So I'm thinking about incorporating what I'm learning into another series. So we'll see what goes on with that.
Excellent. Well, with that said, do you have any new projects you would like to share or promote?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, Haywood, I have a series. It's called the Haywood Herbalist, and we've got book 7 coming out. And then I have done a spin-off with my two main characters in that book where they are traveling, and that's called Deadly Destinations. And each book takes them to a different place where they have a murder to solve. And so that's been a lot of fun writing. And yeah, I guess that's it for right now.
I'm excited for that spin-off series. I think I was introduced to the Haywood series first, and really, I think I read a novella, and then I was like, "Oh, wait, what is this?" And then I started reading the series, and then I saw the spin-off, and I was like, "Oh, it's exciting!"
Yes.
Really excited
Yes.
for
Going
that.
traveling and finding dead bodies.
Yeah.
Always fun.
So, how can our listeners find you?
Sure. They can find me at carlywintercozymysteries.com. And then I've also started a YouTube channel where I am doing Build a Book. It's kind of like, do you remember Build a Bear, where
Mhm.
you'd go into the shop and you take little pieces and put it all together. And that's kind of what I'm doing on YouTube is just very short segments. We talk about the murder, we talk about the suspects, we talk about what the main character is facing during the book. And at the end, you're not going to know who did it. You're not going to have any clues about knowing who the murderer is or anything like that. And just to show readers how the book is being built. And it's been fun.
Well, that's fun. I'll check that
Yeah.
out for sure. Well, thank you so much, Carly, for being on today's podcast.
Thank you for having me, Cynthia. It's nice to finally meet you.
No, it's like we've been emailing for so
I
long.
know. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.